How tilted are you that you gave out Tony Pollard when he was going in the 20th round and now he's like a 10th round pick?
Yeah, I had him in all my 12 mans. I was getting him the 18th round all the time, and now he's going in the 10th or 11th round. So, yeah, we love the listeners. All 6 of the listeners figured it out, and his ADP shocked up, shoot it up. Normally, I'd pull the Aaron Jones play like you. I got a really good sleeper for you guys, Patrick Mahomes.
I will say, though, that it's not just you. I mean, Zeke's holdout intensified greatly since you said that.
Things escalated quite quickly there in Dallas.
Right. Exactly. Anyway.
And he had that big preseason game, which is exactly, that was the recipe for the big move up.
Right. Al, what's going on in Smiz life, buddy?
Not much, man. Just really excited that football season's almost here. Glad to be producing content again. It's just exciting. My days are filled. Instead of just twiddling my thumbs and trying to click on heads on a pixelated screen, I'm out here researching football and talking about football on a pretty much daily basis. So that's the dream, right? Not for you, Adam. I know for you, you don't like talking about football. You like talking about toilet seats. But for me, I enjoy talking with people about sports.
Yeah, I would prefer to talk about life, but, football is a close second. Okay, I think the first topic today, before we get into the salary release, because Emmanuel Sanders is not on the main slate, but we have to talk about Emmanuel Sanders. Peter, do you feel like less of a man because you are still limited by your Achilles tear from 4 years ago, while Emmanuel Sanders, who is 32 years old, 8 months removed from his Achilles tear, and is back in the NFL playing at an extremely high level?
My confidence was already low, and then Emmanuel Sanders, he's shattered it. Not only my wife prefers Emmanuel Sanders to me, he recovered from the injury that I'm still just mentally and physically not the same from. So it's just defying everything. I have 0 shares of Emmanuel Sanders. I'm going down with a ship, and he somehow looks incredible. He's doing shirtless videos online. My wife's sending them to me. Like, she was at the game when he made the catch. It's pretty much worst case scenario for me, and divorce is imminent because of Emmanuel Sanders.
What did he do differently than anybody else recovering from, or is he just like Wolverine? Like him and Adrian Peterson are just Wolverine and they're able to recover a lot quicker? Or did he like go to Germany and have like horse plasma injected into his heel that helped him get better faster? Like what was the process for him, or is he just not human?
Yeah. I don't think we know. I mean, I don't think we have any reports on exactly what he did, but what we do know is that if you watch that game, the second preseason game the Broncos played, I mean, he looked like his old self. And that doesn't mean that he's going to be like that in the regular season. It doesn't mean he'll sustain his health. But man, I mean, his ADP is like 125, or it was, and it may have been even higher. But now I assume, I don't know, I haven't been doing any drafts, but now I assume he's going much higher than that based on the preseason
around
game.
The 10th, 11th round based on the last couple of days.
Yeah, I mean, given what's around them with Cortland Sutton, who I think is shaky, and Deshaun Hamilton, who I like, but is definitely not a big-time difference maker, I think Emmanuel Sanders in the 10th, 11th round makes a lot of sense. Are you going to now start drafting him, Peter, or are you just completely going down with the ship?
I should. I mean, normally I like to hedge, but I still haven't been drafting him. I think the Broncos are going to struggle on offense, and their defense is going to be really, really good. So we'll see what happens. I'm still buying Royce Freeman, really, and that's kind of it. We'll see. But it's incredible what he's done. And I will say, I think in general, these surgeries for Achilles have gotten a little bit better over the last couple of years. I mean, they're always getting better, but it does seem, even just from talking with some of my peer buddies or whatever that had the surgery, they're moving, along a little quicker. So we'll see. Hopefully Kevin Durant, some of these other guys have had the injury, will recover really well, just like Sanders.
I was going to say, how quickly were the Brooklyn Nets on the phone to like Emmanuel Sanders? Hey, Manny, how's it going? So what'd you do to come back so quickly from this Achilles injury? We're just, we're asking for a friend.
I loved Tebowing. I don't know if you guys remember this, but Tebowing was like, after Tebow scored, every time he would like get down on one knee and put like his fist against his forehead and his elbow against his knee. So I was actually with my wife in Rome, and I was going to all these like super religious places and like Tebowing in front of them. I have so many great pictures of me Tebowing in front of famous churches and stuff. It was amazing.
Great pictures.
Yeah, okay. Let's get to running back. There are so many running backs, Al. I don't even know how we separate these guys. Like, not even counting some of the really interesting guys in committees like, Miles Sanders and Matt Breida, and not even counting other guys like, Devontae Freeman and Damian Williams, who are definitely still in play. I still have like 13 guys on my list who I think could be in play. There's so many. I don't even want to go through them all. How can we separate? And like, if you're MMEing or if you're playing tournaments, how can you even narrow your pool down? Because you can't really play 13 running backs, even if you're playing 150 lineups.
By height. Like, just sort by the guys that are 5'10 to 6'2. Exclude anybody shorter or taller. That'll narrow your grouping down, and you'll have a really good chunk of players that you can use still throughout your lineups. I don't know. It's a running back bonanza in week 1.
Yeah. You didn't answer the question. How do we narrow them down?
Damn it. Can you just let me pivot? How come nobody answers in presidential debates like you? How come the moderators don't act like you?
Oh, this is actually a good idea. If you guys are listening, I'd love to moderate a presidential debate. That would be great.
That would be awesome. Maybe you could throw it on your LinkedIn if you get that job.
What do the presidents think? What do the candidates think about team sex? Anyways. You know what I'm saying, Al, right? That like,
you're
since
forced
there
to
are
spend. Yeah. You have to spend the money somewhere.
Yeah. Even if you wanted to go ham at wide receiver and go cheaper at running back where it looks really good, it's like, it's not even that exciting to do that because there aren't that many options at wide receiver.
Okay. So stack Mahomes and Kelsey and then play the mid-range at wide receiver. Got it.
Yeah.
Thank you. We finally got it, boys. We got Levitan's cash game lineup.
Yeah. Right.
I have a question for you about wide receiver, Al. Why did DraftKings price Tampa Bay's number 1 wide receiver at 6,200 and their number 2 wide receiver, Mike Evans, at 7,900?
What are you, Twitter? Hey, Al, why did DraftKings do this? I'm Lieutenant Weinberg. I have no responsibility here whatsoever. Rank the Buccaneers top 3 on the team in terms of red zone targets this season.
Probably
Evans or Howard 1.
Yeah, I was going to say OJ Howard 1, then Evans, then Godwin.
Okay.
I don't know.
Pete?
Yeah, OJ Howard has been one of my biggest buys all year. I love him, and Godwin's great, but his ADP, thanks to freaking Levitan, has gone through the roof. So I think Godwin will be chalk relatively. That's a great price for him in that game. But again, it's just going to come down to what roster construction looks like, depending on who plays and whatnot.
Last year, like everybody was all excited about Godwin, he was part of the infamous dual condom game where if you played Adam Humphries like Al did, it was the double condom game. And if you played Chris Godwin, it was the raw game. Do you remember that, Al?
They had the same amount of points, didn't they? Was that the one where they both had like 18 fantasy points? There was a 1 week where you called that out and they both had like 18 points.
I don't remember, but
I don't remember. Now you remembered everything else about that story.
I only remember the condom jokes. I don't remember the actual results. Again, that's linkedin.com/edge to get $50 off your first job post. Terms and conditions apply. Of course, after I win the Million Maker in week 1, I'll never need LinkedIn again. So here we go. Let's continue talking about. Let's continue. Let's continue. Question 1 from JJ Football. He says, what other narrative streets are we going down in week 1? He had some good ones here. He had the Wentz Ertz Bible narrative, which obviously I've talked about. For those guys that don't know what that is, Carson Wentz and Zach Ertz go to Bible study together. And that is one of the alleged reasons that Wentz has such eyes for Zach Ertz. He also mentions the potential Dwayne Haskins, Terry McLaurin shower narrative. Obviously, they played together at Ohio State, likely showered together. He also has the Deshaun Jackson revenge narrative. Deshaun Jackson spent some time with the Redskins, now is back with the Eagles and facing the Redskins. Those were good ones, man. Al, did you have any others that he didn't mention for week 1?
No, but I like there is a little correlation between 2 of his 3 narratives there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you have the Wentz Ertz Bible narrative, and in the Bible, we learned that an eye for an eye. So you also have the revenge narrative with Djax. I'm going to pair the Wentz Bible narrative with the Djax eye for an eye revenge narrative for all the money.
Adam, this is Karen from advertising at Draftkings. We loved the read and so did the buyer, but they had a bit of an issue at the end of the read when you said, I'm not going to need to use LinkedIn. Can you
That's
not?
the best one yet, Al.